Welcome to another exciting biblical story. It's really true. God gave Elisa the double anointing of Elijah, and he did mighty miracles in God's name, in the God of Israel's name. And today you will hear about two mighty miracles he performed. So one day a widow came to him. I'm not dressed like a widow because after the story with the widow you will hear about a story about a rich lady. So I'm already dressed like the rich lady. So first the story about the widow. A widow came to him and said, Elijah, do you know what? I'm a widow and I have two sons, and my husband, he was following you and he worshipped God with all his heart and he loved God, but he had debts, and now I don't have any money to pay the debts my husband made while he was still alive. And now, you know, the man is coming and he wants to take my two sons as servants. Oh, Elisa, can you help me? And Elisa prayed and he said to the widow, bring all the jars you have. And what do you have? Oh, I just have a little oil left. Okay, bring the little oil, bottle of oil, and get all the jars from all the neighbors. So she did that and the boys helped her. And you know the miracle which happened? As she was filling in the oil in the jars, the bottle gave more oil. So all the jars were full with oil. And she asked her son, bring me more jars, but they didn't have any more, so the oil stopped. Oh, Elisa, we have experienced a miracle. Look, I have such a lot of oil. What shall I do with it? Just sell it and then get rid of your debts. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. So she could sell the oil and she had no debts anymore, and her two sons would not be slaves. Wasn't that wonderful? But then after, Elisa often came to Sunem. It's a village, and there was a rich lady. And each time Elisa came to that village, the rich lady invited him for supper or for dinner. And they really spoiled Elisa. And this rich lady was really nice to him. So one day this rich lady said, oh, do you know what? Wouldn't it be nice that we could build another apartment on the roof of our building for the prophet? When he comes to Sunem, then he has a place to stay. He gets a bed and an oil lamp, and he just can pray there. And her husband said, yes, let's do that. We will build on our roof another apartment. So the next time Elisa came, he had a beautiful room on the top of the house, and he was so happy. And he asked Gehazi, his servant, what could we do for this rich lady? And the rich lady answered Gehazi, you know, I have everything. I have my relatives here, and I have enough to eat and to drink. I'm happy. But, you know, Gehazi heard that this man was old and this rich woman also got older, and they had no son. So Gehazi said, you know what, perhaps God can do a miracle and give this wonderful, helpful, rich lady a son. So Elijah asked her to come, and she came and she was standing on the entrance of his room, and he prayed to God, God, you can do a miracle. Please let this woman get a child. And she said, "Oh, what are you praying? Don't give me any hope." Well, trust in God. God can do miracles for you. So soon after, it really happened that this lady got pregnant. And she got a beautiful boy, and she loved him so much. That was such a miracle. And you know what? This son was so a nice boy, and he always helped the father, and he joined the father when he went out in the fields to get the crops in. He always helped. And one day it was very hot, like today. This little boy said, "Oh, my head! Oh, I have a very hard headache. Oh, my head, my head. Oh, Father, my head. Oh, my head is hurting." So the father said to the servants, "Carry him home to his mother." So, "Oh, my head, my head." So the mother was laying him into the room and the bed where the prophet was. But he soon after died. So she saddled a donkey and she came to the Mount Carmel to speak to Elijah. And Elijah said, "Take my walking stick, Gehazi, and lay it on the boy." So Gehazi went. But the rich woman said, "I'm not leaving you. Come, please come with me. Please come and do a miracle, please. Please come with me, man of God, prophet of God. I think you need to come." And he was going back with her. And you know, the walking stick of Gehazi didn't help. And also, then the prophet went in and the miracle happened. He prayed to God, "Oh God, do a miracle, God of Israel. This woman helped me so much. Do a miracle, please." And he was walking in that room back and forth and praying and praying and praying. And then he was laying himself on the boy. And then, you know what happened? The boy was sneezing, "Hachiha, hachiha," several times, and then he could breathe again. And he was breathing again. And he was alive again. Oh, she was so happy. And Elisa did another miracle. He did really another one. You know, one time there was nothing to eat and he was preparing a stew, but it was bitter, and then he added some flour and then it was fine again. He even was feeding 100 prophets. So Elijah did so many miracles, but in the next program, even more miracles will come. And he was also speaking to the kings of Israel. But which story and which miracle Elisa performed, I will tell you in the next program. But before I end this program, I have to tell you another story. There was a little boy, he wanted to meet Yeshua, Jesus. And his mother allowed it, and he took 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish with him. That happened in the Sea Kinneret. And you know, Jesus and his disciples, they were going to the mountains and the crowd followed him. And he preached to them for a long time. Yeshua, he said, "Blessed are the people poor in spirit, because they will inherit God's kingdom. Blessed are the people who are merciful. Blessed are the people who are righteous. Yeshua Jesus preached there, and the crowd had nothing to eat. And so Yeshua Jesus said to his disciples, give the people to eat, about 5,000 men. But he said, where shall we get all the bread? You know, all the bakeries in Galilee would not be able to bake bread for 5,000 people. And there this little boy came and offered the disciples the 5 bread and 2 fish. And Yeshua Jesus prayed to God, God, you can do a miracle. Let the people be seated. So the people were seated in groups. And you know what happened? All 5,000 people had enough to eat. And even 12 baskets of bread were left over. And that little boy went home so happy. So his mother was very, very anxious to also meet Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. And perhaps the next time she would also see a miracle. But in the next program, we will hear more about Elijah. And you know what? You can also pray. Pray to Jesus that he helps you. God has raised him from the dead after 3 days. He was crucified for the sin of the whole world. He was punished, and he took upon himself the punishment for the sin of the whole world. So if you ask Jesus in your heart and ask him for forgiveness, then he will forgive you. And God raised Yeshua, Jesus, after 3 days. He went to heaven, and he's sitting with God in heaven on the right side of God who created the universe. Yeshua, Jesus, is sitting, and he's watching, and he sees everyone. And soon he will come back as the Prince of Peace, and he will bring peace to Israel and to the whole world. But more about Elijah you will hear in the next program.